afternoon, folks. Mike Richardson from Northwoods Buchcraft. Today we're going to demonstrate some fire making methods using the feather sticks, ferrocerium rod, and when we get a fire going with the feather sticks, we're going to process some char cloth. Stay tuned. Alright folks, I've done processed a pine branch down, and we're going to make some feather sticks to get this fire going. It's a very good way. It's really dry. Carve this off the side of a pine tree. Get your sticks going. Make sure it's dry. And just carve right down the side. Called feather sticks. They look like little feathers on the end of a stick. The thinner they are, the more they're going to light up. Okay, folks, not to bore you to death when I get this going. You stay tuned when I get ready to get our fire going. Okay, folks, what I got here is you want fairly big shavings at your end. Go all the way around the stick. Doesn't matter if they fall off. You can always put them back in there. Actually, they don't need even to be on the stick. You can just whack this off and just put a ferrocerium rod in it and go right in the fire. Now, I got some pretty good woods going. At the end here, you want to do fine shavings so that it catch the spark of the ferrocerium rod. So what you're doing is you're just scraping the top part of the wood. Make some real fine ones at this end. Like I mentioned, it doesn't matter if they fall off. Just like that. So just real fine ones. It's going to catch that spark. No big deal. Right here, that's a good little pile of fire starters here. Nice and dry pine. Pine wood to me is gasoline of the wilderness. The pitch in it, it's going to go. By the way, folks, this is eastern white pine. First off, folks, you want to demonstrate a proper fire lay. We're out here. It's 1st of April, but the ground's still damp. Proper fire in a survival situation. This isn't a survival situation, but just in case you end up in a survival situation, don't ever start your fire on the damp ground. What you want to do is you want to take your stuff that's going to burn, you want to make a little platform. Usually do it in snow. But here on the damp ground is going to where I'm going to lay my tin. You always want it pencil size, smaller than your fingers sticks. It rained here big time last night, snow, so always try to get stuff that's off the ground. Never pick up stuff that's laying on the ground. Anything that's above ground, leaning, or on the pine or on the trees is going to be wet. You can always tell by that snap. It's dead inside. What I like to do is get you a good bundle of it. Mash it all up. You can hear that snap in it. That means it's dry as a bone inside. Remember, anything up off the ground is the key. It can rain and snow and sleet. Anything above ground is going to be dry. Alright folks, what I got here is a ferrocerium rod. It's sold in a lot of sporting goods. We call it the metal match. I'm not going to go into the properties of it right now. You can find all that on Wikipedia, what's in it, what it's all made of. But what you do is you want to make sure you want to have a high carbon bladed knife. 100% carbon. What I got here is an old hickory knife I got maybe 20 years ago. I've been carrying it with me ever since. I got a hole drill in it for a bow drill. We'll go into that in another video. This is a good knife to carry. I see guys on YouTube all the time with $200 knives, which is fine. but as long as you can strike a ferrocerium rod with this knife, it'll skin a deer. You can baton it, holds up. It's gonna be full tang. That's all you need. I've carried this knife forever. It's still with me. So stay tuned, folks. We'll get this ferrocerium rod on this feather stick, see if we can get this fire going. Gonna make some coffee. Alright folks, looks like we got a spark on the feathers. Let that catch. Roll your tinder over. And sit there, let it go to work. Alright folks. Pretty windy day out here, that's helping us. It's actually going to take off. Look at that dry wood popping. Looks like we're going to have coffee and char cloth soon, folks. Pull this back out. About 2 more fires left in that stick with feather sticks. Like I said before, folks, you can hear that snap in the woods. It's wet on the outside. You got a good fire going underneath. You can hear that dry snap. Dry snap up the fire. We'll take that dampness off. But always remember the key is what's below. Okay, folks, we got the fire going with the feather sticks and the ferrocerium rod. Now we're going to go through and making char cloth. All you need, you can use a basic Altoids tin. Today we're going to use a basic fire kit that I carry around. You can see it's blackened by the fire of use. What I got in here is basic emergency fire kit. I have a magnifying glass from an old pair of binoculars. I have some string here used for a bow drill. We'll explain that in another video. A video of ancient fire making. Friction fire. I got some hemp rope made out of an old belt here. Fire making. I have some steel wool. Steel wool takes a spark. Good thing to know. Anything from your kitchen. I have some old char cloth made here. I'm going to dump all this out. That right there for you can see. One thing to know is when you're going to make char cloth, it's got to be 100% cotton or it won't work. All the other dyes in it. If it's an old t-shirt 100% cotton socks, anything in an emergency you can make. Hey folks, if your underwear is 100% cotton, you can rip a piece off there in a survival situation whenever you need char cloth. Just remember, it's got to be 100% cotton or it won't char. Another important thing to remember is you got to have a little hole in the top. That's for gas to escape or it won't work. You can use the Altoids tin. You don't have to actually put a hole in the top of this because I found that gas will escape out the hinges of the Altoids. I'm not going to use the Altoids tins today because this is my girlfriend's and she doesn't want to burn it up in the fire because it looks pretty. So I'm going to use my spice tin that I've been. Okay, what you want to do is just, like I said, it could be anything. Your t-shirt, your socks, a bandana, survival situation, your own underwear. But remember, 100% cotton. You just lay it in there, just like that. Remember the hole in the top for gas to escape. Like I said before, this is just an old spice tin I got for some, I don't know, I think it was some jerky spice in there at one time, I think. But remember, the important thing is the hole in the top for the gas to escape. Okay folks, got the cotton in there, and close it up. You don't need it right on a direct flame. We got good enough coals going. Obviously, you can see I got my coffee going. That's all important. And do everything at once. Just set it right down in there and just let it go. And we'll watch the gas escape out of there. Okay guys, you can see the white smoke coming up out of there. It means it's starting to char. You don't have to sit it in direct flame as long as you got just some hot enough coals. And what you want to do is, when that starts smoking, you want to get that off the fire. So we'll cut this off right now so we won't bore you to death, and we'll take that off when it stops smoking. For it. I think I hear the coffee percolating too. Folks, you don't need a big fire, big blazing fire, just hot enough coals. If you're out there camping, you got a big fire going, you can just rake some coals to the side, some good hardwood coals, lay that tin right on it. Coffee too, matter of fact. Folks, it stopped smoking, and reach in there and take it out. The important thing is to set it aside. You don't want to immediately open it up. You want to let that tin cool, because what will happen is if you take that tin right directly off the fire and open that lid, the oxygen is going to get to that char cloth and it's just going to ignite, turn into ash. Useless. So what you want to do is you want to wait till that tin's really cool to the touch. Then you open that lid up. Stay with me. We took the tin out. It's cool to the touch. Ready to open. Always remember, important thing, if it's cool to the touch, you can open it. Alright. As you can see here, if I didn't leave it in the fire long enough, we got some light brown stuff on it. That's okay. You can use that later. What you got here on the edges, that's char cloth, charred. Take that off. Like I said, the stuff, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but the light brown stuff didn't char all the way. Probably didn't leave it in the fire long enough. The dark black stuff, that's charred cloth. Take a spark. I'm going to show you that. So we'll put that in here. We'll save that. You guys are probably all wondering why. Well, what's he burning 100% cotton for? This stuff right here will take a spark off a ferrocerium rod. You can use a piece of flint off a high carbon steel knife blade. You can use a dead lighter, your dead Bic lighter if your lighter's dead. Or this char cloth, that's the point of me making this video, is you always carry this if you're out in the woods, stranded somewhere, you got a dead lighter, can't build a fire, you got char cloth. The reason us making this fire is always carry it because the spark off a Bic lighter, this will take it. Today, I'm going to make it easy because we're kind of stressed for time. I'm just going to use the ferrocerium rod. Actually, it's kind of windy. I was going to demonstrate the chert rock quartzite off a knife blade, but we're just going to use a ferrocerium rod. Give you an example why, in the first place, I charred this. Okay, I gathered a bird's nest here of dry materials. It's important that it's dry, obviously. It's common sense. You take your char cloth that you just charred, just for demonstration on this video. You don't need this big of a piece, but I'm going to put it in there anyway. And we're going to take our ferrocerium rod. Going to strike a knife blade to it. Primed up. You're going to get a close-up of that if you can. Come down to it. One thing I want to mention too, folks, when we're on camera, is when you're using a ferrocerium rod, it's always best not to strike the knife towards your tinder, but to hold your ferrocerium rod firmly and pull it back. That way you're not pushing your knife into your fire making materials to spread it all out, knock it all down. It's always a good idea to pull your ferrocerium rod back to you. It looks like it's taken. Pick your char cloth up, find your coal, and you'll blow it. Okay, let's see if we can get us a fire out of this little bird's nest. Fire's life, folks. If fire set, throw that right in your tinder bundle. Stay warm, stay good. Thanks for watching my videos. Next one we get up to, we're going to demonstrate the bow and drill method. Thanks for watching. Until next